welcome back to BLOCKTV, and today a closer look at one of the most impressive partnerships as of late, namely the ConsenSys, Ernst & Young, and Microsoft baseline protocol announcement of last week. Now, if anything, it shows the great strides blockchain is making in enterprise business initiatives. And to take a closer look at it today, I am so very happy to be joined by Paul Broday, Principal and Global Innovation Leader, Blockchain Technology at Ernst & Young. Paul, lovely to have you. First of all, you're speaking to us from New York, and as I do with everybody in the last couple of days, I just want to ask you, coronavirus being felt not just in the markets, has it hindered your business? Has it stopped you from doing things? How are you folks doing there at Ernst & Young? What's going on in your neck of the woods, so to speak?
So far, we've had no negative impact ourselves. Of course, so many events are being canceled. I was on the plane yesterday, and of course, everyone's wiping down their seats. But I'm very happy to know that, I had a call last night with all of my staff in China. Everyone's back in the office in Shanghai. No one's gotten sick, but they are not able to really go out. We're not able to go in. We have a Global Blockchain Summit, our summit next month, April 21st in New York. And we've actually just taken some steps so that the entire global summit that we have will be fully available online. So we don't want to cancel, we don't want to delay, but we're going to be going fully online in case people can't come or only a few people can come.
No, fascinating. So you're actually making that choice so people can decide if they want to go, but if they won't physically go, it can be available online. I have a feeling that's going to be the case with several conferences in every venue in the next couple of weeks and months. Let's talk about this incredible initiative which we've been following, and I want to talk about the partnership with ConsenSys, first of all, because Ernst & Young, needless to say, a name everybody knows, very big business. It's incredible for ConsenSys. How did Ernst & Young come about into that partnership?
Well, so first of all, I do want to clarify, it's not officially a partnership. So what we're doing with ConsenSys, and by the way, with Microsoft and others and companies, is we are building something together, but it's not a partnership in the sense of some kind of joint go-to-market.
Right.
The vision that we have together, and the reason why we're all working together, is we've got this common view, which is that public blockchains are the core technology required for blockchain technology to really deliver on its promise. Private blockchains have this problem, which is that they componentize and they put walls around digital markets. And what we see over and over again is that just doesn't scale up very well. So our vision, which we shared very much with ConsenSys and also with Microsoft and others, is we need to put in place the tools that allow companies to use the public blockchain, specifically the Ethereum main public blockchain, as a way to do secure enterprise business transactions without giving up any of their privacy.
No, which seems to be, one of the things that many companies would be interested in, and I don't think that we realize how much privacy in the corporate world is important, especially on the business side. You had the blockchain department though at Ernst & Young. I'm interested to hear from you, Paul. How did that department come about? And I think that, as in the crypto sphere, we're constantly dealing with cryptos, whatnot. We keep forgetting that blockchain is actually the thing that's making strides forward. Where did blockchain and Ernst & Young come from?
Well, EY got into blockchain more than 5 years ago simply because EY had audit clients that were starting to do material amounts of business in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And of course, if we wanted to continue auditing them, we wanted to continue to serve them, we had to figure out how to audit them. Right. I joined EY about 5 years ago, and at the time, I had actually been the global blockchain leader at IBM, right? The global electronics leader at IBM. And when I was at IBM, we put together IBM's very first blockchain, which was actually on the prototype, on the alpha version of Ethereum. And at the time, IBM wasn't quite so enthusiastic about blockchains, but EY was actually quite interested. And so within a few months of managing to get to EY, I had persuaded our senior leadership that we shouldn't just be doing sort of the absolute minimum. We should see blockchain as a strategic global opportunity for the partnership, and that we needed to make investments at a global level to go pursue those opportunities.
No, and sounds like business is quite buzzing behind you. You're one of these, one of these few
Sorry
people.
about that.
No, that's okay. One of these few people that, one can argue have seen the future ahead of them. You echo also a very general consensus, and I'm about the logistics and supply chain and some of the fastest blockchain movers. I want to talk to you specifically about healthcare, because clearly you've been, within the blockchain sphere for a while. It's going well now. But as we are in this coronavirus scare mania, Lord knows how long this will go ahead, is this actually an opportunity for, blockchain to step into the game, so to speak, in this, day and age? And what can it do for healthcare?
I would love to tell you yes, and it's so opportunistic. It always bothers me when I see headlines like blockchain can fix this and blockchain can
And it
fix that.
can't, but I agree.
Blockchain is not going to fix the coronavirus problem, right? It is going to have a huge long-term impact on healthcare, on supply chain. One of the most exciting things we're doing is we're working with people in individualized medicine. If you're using your own blood or your own cells as the foundation for your medication, and that needs to be created for you, the tracking of that medication through the supply chain is incredibly important. We have this project you may have heard of. It's with the Canadian Blood Services, where we're tracking Canadian blood across the network there. Those are all great things, but I do not want to be one of those people who are like, yeah, coronavirus, we can fix it with blockchain, and also we'll take care of democracy as well, and all of that stuff.
No. And needless to say, let me preface this differently. Blockchain is not going to solve the coronavirus. It's not going to cure cancer, and it's definitely not going to fix the really crumbling democracy, which seems to be around the world, having a hard time. But when it comes to healthcare, it can track, and in that respect, be very, very important. Not just records, as what you explained, what you mentioned right now, the Canadian project. It seems to be so important to the progress of healthcare. Why do you think it's not being utilized in that genre more?
So the answer really has to do with the fact that healthcare, like financial services, is highly regulated. So there's a million great ideas, but healthcare industries, like financial services, are going to proceed cautiously as they move towards the world of blockchain, because they have to take into account things like patient privacy. Right, the standards for patient privacy are just incredibly high, and so as a result, it's very, very important for companies to proceed cautiously. And so that's why you see the most progress in things like manufacturing supply chains, which compared to healthcare finance are just relatively quite a bit less regulated.
Yeah, and regulation is the key word. You're sitting there in the United States. Let's go back to apropos EY, ConsenSys and Microsoft, that baseline protocol, as you explained, moving ahead. What is next in store when it comes to, let's say, just EY and the blockchain department there? Because you are speaking to me, as I started saying, from one of the highly regulated, and many would argue that the American regulation, as important as it is hindering the progress of the sphere.
I'll skip any direct comment on the regulators. What I will say is our mission is to make blockchain safe, secure, reliable, and regulatory compliant. So if you look at all the pieces that EY is putting together, they're designed to all come together in this picture. So we audit companies, and if somebody came to us and says, I want to do business on the blockchain and I want to make sure that we're in regulatory compliance, we can say we can absolutely help you with that. We can audit your regulatory compliance. We can audit your blockchain transactions. We have our security team in Tel Aviv, actually. They're all focused on enabling secure transactions, making sure you don't sign up for a digital contract that is contains malware. We have our tax team, which is focused on how do we account for taxable transactions. And then we've got our advisory team, which is building blockchain applications. And all of these things work together. And what you're going to see over the next month, especially at our global summit next month, is we're starting to take the wraps off our first fully integrated product sets that allow you to do transactions, handle taxes, do security, analytics, and all of those services in a single place, and to do them in a way that is very simple to manage. So if you'll be able to go to blockchain.ey.com and log in and use the public Ethereum blockchain with privacy and security in a way that looks and feels as simple as if you were just accessing a regular web portal.
And that will be rolled out and explained next month?
That's our goal. Is we're going to be launching these services next month, and the goal you probably could tell if you looked at the baseline protocol content, the prototype solution in baseline is enterprise procurement.
Right.
I believe that this is going to be one of the killer applications for blockchain in the enterprise. You'll see this is going to be one of the first things that we start deploying at the enterprise scale, and then we'll start adding processes from there, whether it's logistics, additional supply chain services, tokenization services, security services. We'll all start layering them on together.
Well, Broday, first of all, it sounds very exciting, and it sounds like you're meeting all your goals at EY when it comes to, leading blockchain software technology to lead the way. I hope it all pans out, even throughout these ages when nobody can get together in one place for a conference.
Well, I hope to be back in Israel soon as you guys let up the 14-day quarantine.
You're coming here then. The second that happens, you're coming to my studio. Paul, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. As we said, this incredible initiative between EY, ConsenSys, and Microsoft. We were BLOCKTV, and we'll see you later.
Watch us on Amazon Fire TV and Roku.